Hi everybody, it's Christina and thank you for joining me. So today we're going to make this easel card, and this is one that I've done for Christmas. So I'm going to show you how to do the background, how to make the snowflakes float. Now I've also created a box for this, and I've used the 5x7 complete card and box kit, and that will send very beautifully to my recipient. So this again is a handmade paper, and I'll show you how I've created this. I've also used two 5x7 top folded cards and a piece of white card to create this paper. So to create my paper I'm using Uncharted Mariner, Salvaged Patina and Speckled egg. I have an embossing Versamarker pen and some silver embossing powder, and I've also got my talcum powder to just run over the sheet once I've finished. So let's start with the inking. Now I'm just using brushes that I've had for a long time. So I'm just going to load this up with some ink and I'll move these to the side, and then I'm just going to go down the side of the card with the stroke. And I don't want it smooth, I don't want it nice and neat, I just want it on there blotchily really. And then once I've got that one on, I'm going to the next colour. So I'm going to Salvage Patina, and again I'm going to load the brush up and I'm just going to go down the side of this colour with this ink. Now once I've done that, I'm going to use the speckled egg and go down the side of this one. So again, load the brush up, add it to the card in broad strokes. You don't want it neat, you don't want it tidy. So we're going to continue with this, alternating the colours until we've coloured the whole sheet. So there's my sheet of card now coloured with the inks, and I need to make sure that that's completely dry with the heat tool. So once that's dry, go over it with your talcum powder, and then you're going to need a ruler and your embossing pen. So all I've done is mark off where I want my lines to be. So I've taken my ruler and I'm looking at where the colours join. Now I'm not just going to draw one complete straight line, I'm going to break it up. And we'll come down to the next bit and we'll mark that in a different area. And we'll go all the way down it, separating the colours out with the embossing pen till we get to the bottom. So there are my lines now on my sheet, and now I need to go away and heat those till they go beautifully silver. So there's my sheet now, silvered and coloured and ready to add to my card. Now you could try this with different colours, different embossing powders in there. You could stamp snowflakes onto that, or feathers, or anything that you fancy before you start to heat it up. But that's just another way to make some of your own homemade papers. So there are my two 5x7 pieces of card. Now for one of them I'm going to cut it completely in half. So it's 5 inches wide, I'm going to cut that at 2.5. So there's my piece now ready to score. This one I'm going to open up and I'm going to cut just this front piece down to the centre part at 2.5. And because that won't fit on my scoreboard, I'm going to do it with a craft knife. So there's our 2.5 mark. And we're just coming down to this centre part at 2.5. Now we can join those two marks up and we can cut right down there on the 2.5 mark. So once you've got that cut, there's your other piece that you cut, and that's going to go in that way around. Now you may need to trim it a little bit there at the bottom so that you make sure that it fits. And this one you're going to shorten by whatever length you wish. So I've cut my other front panel down to 4 inches. Now I want the cards to fold this way. So from this corner down to this one, I'm going to score it. So it's line it into the channel and score it. So I've just taken it from the top right down to the bottom left. And I'm going to do the same with this one. Top right down to bottom left. So we'll put that in the channel and we'll score it down there. Once that's folded, this is what you will have your card looking like. Now the other piece that goes in there is going to fill that gap along there. And I'm doing it this way so that this is all level when I come to add my piece of patterned paper. So I've cut this side down to 3 inches, but I don't want it to fold the same way as that one. I want it to fold the opposite way. So I need to go from the top left down to the bottom right and score it. So once I've scored that, that's going to slide in there and be glued in place. And there's my card now ready to decorate. So I'll glue this in place and then we'll finish up with the rest. So once you have this fitted in place and you have this shape, you have a nice smooth back now to add your piece of patterned card. So this is the piece that you've just created and you can use it any way around you wish. Now this card is a 5x7, don't forget, but if you make your panels just a little bit smaller, you'll have a little border around the edge and it will make sure that these then close up properly as you need them to, and they'll be flat. So we'll glue that in place and then we'll come to the panels. So you have more than enough paper left to cover your panels. So let's start with the biggest one first. We're going to pop that down on there. We're going to leave a little border around the edge, and then with a pencil I'm going to make little marks just on the sheet and cut that out. So once I've cut that, I'm going to glue that in place and leave just that little border around the edge. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing with these other 2 panels to give me the bits that will fit on there. So once you've got these stuck in place, you can refold the card. Now there are ways that you can do this that will cut you 2 separate panels for your cards, but this is by far the easiest way to get your back and your front of your panels covered. So there's our card now covered and ready to decorate. So for the next part you can use any snowflake dies or any dies that you wish to decorate this and cut them out. So I'm using white, silver and blue, and I've cut my snowflakes out in the colours that I want. Now this is a little piece of acetate, and for this I need really tiny slivers of it. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard and I'm going to use this first mark past the channel, and I'm just going to pop the acetate in along that mark, and I'm just going to cut a piece off. So there's my piece now ready to add my snowflakes to, and you can just see it. Now should your acetate have a backing to it, then be sure you take the backing off. Now this has. So there it is. I'll pick it up for the nails. There it is. Peel the backing off and that will give you a nice clear acetate to add to your snowflakes. Now I'm going to cut my snowflakes in white and in blue and silver, but I've also done them in white, and this is to back this snowflake. So what I'm going to do is just add my glue along one of the sides, one of the prongs, if you will, of the snowflake. So I'm just going to add some there. Make sure you've got enough on, but not too much that it splurges out. And then on that I'm going to add my piece of acetate. And then to the top of that I'm going to add glue to the rest of it, and I'm going to put my white piece in. Now the reason for the white piece is just to tidy up the back. And once that's in place, you now have your snowflake ready to suspend on your card. There it is. So that now will look as if it's floating. So your easel card needs stops, and I found some glitter balls in my stash, and I'm going to add these to the cards that will just keep those panels open. Now you can close your card up and you can add your snowflakes then wherever you would like them. So just glue them in place. Now as long as they don't protrude over the top of that and come down below this, they will be fine. It doesn't matter on this one, but on this top one it does, because that's only a 5x7. So add your snowflakes in wherever you want them. Now if you want to add these that are suspended, that look as if they're floating, you're going to trim it off and you're going to add glue to the area where you want it to float. So we'll just add a little bit of glue there. We'll fasten it to the card there and we'll allow that to set. And if you add another snowflake over the top, it won't show. So once you have your snowflakes glued in place, and I've put some on the back panels as well, you can then prop it open on your stops, and that will give you the floating look that you need for your cards. Now if you've got any glue on your mirror card, once it's dry, just give it a soft cloth, a polish with a soft cloth, and that will just bring the glue off. And that will give you a beautiful glittery look, shiny look to your snowflakes. So there's your Triple Twisted Easel Card, but done with a different style. Now for mine I made a box, so it doesn't matter if these overhang just a little bit on the sides, because it will still fit in that box. So there's your card finished. I've got my glitter balls in place. I've glued Let It Snow at the bottom. Now because I've added white card to the back of my floating snowflakes, they look a lot tidier than they would if it was just left. So there it is now, all ready to send. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please join me on the next one. And why not subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, then you'll always be aware when I add a new video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.